In this video, we'll see an overview of the user interface in Nova. We've designed Nova to be really easy to use and to have the same look and feel as Microsoft Office 365 apps. Over on the left-hand side, you have a menu which gives you access to parts of Nova. Up at the top right, we have a notifications area where important information will be shown. If there are notifications, then the icon changes to show you how many there are. The next icon gives you access to the various settings relating to you and your organization. You can get help by clicking on this icon. And finally, you can get information about your profile here. You can switch to different organizations if you have access to more than one, change the theme, and see what roles you currently have. One of the great features of Nova is being able to give non-administrator users access to the system in order to view reports or perform administrative tasks without needing elevated privileges. You can customize what they see and what they're able to do. This is a screenshot of a delegated administrator. The top right area is the same as we saw earlier, with the same sorts of functionality. But as you can see over on the left-hand side, the menu is greatly reduced because this user has restricted access. A few other things to note about the user interface. When you see this button in the UI, you can click on it and get a pop-up menu of options applicable to the roles you have and the object you have selected. When you open some pages of the user interface, like this one showing information about a user, there is a close button up at the top right which will close this part and take you back one level. Finally, you can filter and search in many parts of the user interface like we see on this list of users. And that's all for this overview of the interface in Nova. In this video, we'll take a look at how a delegated administrator can use Nova to reset a password. This operation, typical of a level 1 help desk call, can be achieved in Nova with appropriate authorization policies, without the need for elevated rights in Office 365. Let's take a look. I'm logged into Nova as a level 1 help desk employee, and I've been delegated some responsibilities. So let's reset Bianca's password. I click on this to bring up some details about Bianca, and at the top I click on Authentication. Now I click on Reset Password. I enter a new password and select the option to force a new password after the first login with the temporary password, and I click on Save. This will perform the password reset. For good measure, what I'd also do is click on Revoke User Token in case any credentials have been cached by Office 365 applications. It forces re-authentication, which will mean Bianca will need to enter that new password. And that's it. I've reset the password, which Bianca will need to change at her next login, and I've revoked the access token, so Bianca will be prompted pretty quickly for the new password on any application she has open. In the background, Nova has performed these tasks on my behalf, and I can see under the notifications area when the job has completed. And that's how we can use Nova to reset a password as a delegated administrator. In this video, we'll take a look at how someone might use Nova to set an out-of-office message for an end user. As with our other examples, the user I'm logged in with here doesn't have any elevated rights within Office 365 or permissions on any specific mailboxes. Let's say we want to set an out-of-office message for this user. We select the user, and then on this pop-up menu we choose Mailbox. We can see some useful information here about the user's mailbox, and we can click on Automatic Replies in order to check, set, or remove an out-of-office message. Let's add an out-of-office message now for this user. Let's make it so it's turned on for the whole of a work week, and set up the same message for internal recipients as well as external ones. And click on Save. In the background, Nova will perform this action for us and send us a notification when it completes. It's that easy to set an out-of-office message for anyone that we have been delegated responsibility for. In this video, we'll take a look at how to use Nova to create a new channel in Microsoft Teams and how to add some new members to the team. The user that I'm logged in with here doesn't have any elevated rights in this tenant. They've been delegated some actions, including the ability to manage requests relating to Microsoft Teams. Here we can see the teams that have been created inside the tenant. I can create a new team, as we see here, and I can specify all of the different settings relating to a new team. For existing teams, such as this one, I can bring up additional details. And if I've received a request to create a new channel, then I can create it here. In the background, Nova will communicate with Office 365 for this tenant and create the channel. I can also add additional people to the team by clicking on the Members tab. This is the current list of members. I can click on Add, choose the appropriate people, and then add them to the team. Again, in the background, Nova is talking to Office 365 and making these changes, all without this user having any elevated permission in the tenant. It's that easy for a delegated administrator to manage Microsoft Teams using Nova. Watch out for other videos that explain more of the Nova features.